All right. Hi, guys. I think I'm finally live. I'm getting the hang of this. I am Sarah, and I blog at sarahinthesuburbs.com, and I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me today. If I sound a little funny, it's because I have a cough drop in my mouth and a cup of water right next to me because I'm a little under the weather this week, but I promised everybody that I would continue doing these travel tips videos, talking about places I've been, things that I love, and helping you guys plan your travels. So in the past, I've been talking a lot about Disney, but today, I don't know if you can tell by my shirt, can you see it? I am planning on talking about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Orlando. Specifically, today, I want to talk to you guys about Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley is the Wizarding World land, I guess, so to speak, in Universal Studios. If you are not familiar with Universal Orlando, there's two theme parks and one water park, so I guess it makes it 3 parks altogether. There is Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay. There are no Harry Potter attractions or rides in Volcano Bay, so I'm not going to be talking about that today. If you've got questions about Volcano Bay, we can talk about that another time, but today we're not going to be talking about Islands of Adventure. We're only going to be talking about Universal Studios, and specifically Universal Studios in Florida. Excuse me, I told y'all to bear with me today. I have not yet been to Universal Studios Hollywood, so anything I say today is specifically for Universal Orlando in Florida. I believe the Universal Studios Harry Potter section in Hollywood only has Hogsmeade, so none of this is going to apply to them anyway, but a lot of people get the two confused, so I just wanted to go ahead and preface that. But like I said at the beginning, I'm Sarah, and I blog at sarahinthesuburbs.com. Sorry, I am bringing my computer back up because I've set it right up here so I can look at it while I'm talking to you guys because I've got some notes. I want to make sure I am doing the right thing at the right time. Come on, guys. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So like I said, if you've been following me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, I told everybody that today I was going to share some secrets and some must-dos for Diagon Alley. Now, if you're unfamiliar with where it is in Universal Studios, when you go into the park, you're going to go almost all the way to the back of the park. But before you get there's kind of a dividing point where you can go to the right and you can go to like the E.T. ride and the Fievel's Playground and the Simpsons area. If you go that way, that's all the attractions you're going to see. And if you go to the left, you're going to see the outside of what looks like a facade of London. And you may be thinking, what in the world does London have to do with Universal Studios? Well, if you're a Potterhead, you already know. But if you're not and you're confused, that is the outside of the entrance to Diagon Alley. You will see a very tall purple bus, which is also known as the night bus. You will see the facade of several buildings, which I'll talk about in a minute. You will also see a train station that says King's Cross, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And if you see a red, iconic London phone booth, you are in the right place. And that's actually one of the first things I want to tell you about. If you are a big fan of the Harry Potter books and or the Harry Potter movies, you have to go in the iconic London phone booth. And you need to dial, I believe it is, oh man, hang on. Let me see if I wrote it down on here. Did I write it on here? I don't think I wrote it, but you can follow there are instructions once you get inside the photo booth, how to dial the Ministry of Magic. If anybody remembers what it is, feel free to comment so that I can tell everybody because I have totally forgotten what it is. It has something to do with the number 4. I want to say you have to press 44 star, 44 pound, something like that. Or hashtag, if you're a cool millennial kid, it's hashtag instead of pound. But anyway, when you dial that, you get to hear a recorded message from the Ministry of Magic, which if you're a huge Harry Potter fan, that's pretty cool. I mean, even if you're not, I'm saying all this as if the people who are listening to this video, watching this video, are huge Harry Potter fans. If you're not, you're still going to appreciate the fun and magic of Diagon Alley at Universal Studios. Excuse me. So that is one thing you can do outside before you even step foot in Diagon Alley. Number 2, Remember that tall purple bus I was just talking about a minute ago? That is called the night bus, and you definitely need to go check it out. Not only is it a great photo spot, but you can talk to the night bus crew. Now, if you've read the books, you know that Stan Shunpike is one of the conductors on the night bus. We were there in November, and we did not get to talk to Stan, but we talked to his friend Sam, maybe, or Steve. I can't remember. It was another S name, but he was very friendly. And we also got to talk to the shrunken head that was hanging in the window of the night bus, which, if you remember from the movies, that was kind of a fun added character that didn't really appear in the books, I don't think. It's been a while since I've read Prisoner of Azkaban, so I'll have to go back and see if that is in there. Regardless, it's really fun because the Universal Orlando employee is really in character. They really want you to start enjoying the experience before you even get into Diagon Alley. So you have to talk to the night bus crew. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of that water. Oh, and look, I just so happen to have my Starbucks mug today. Thanks for bearing with me, guys, while I'm sick. I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate those of you who are watching and asking questions. I love that. So you've been inside the phone booth, you have talked to the night bus crew, and before you can step foot in Diagon Alley, one more thing you have to do. You have to go see Creature at number 12 Grimmauld Place. If you remember from the Order of the Phoenix, that is where the Order of the Phoenix meets, at the Black House, and Creature is the house elf for the Black House. And every once in a while, if you look at number 12 Grimmauld Place on the second floor, you will see a house elf peek through the window and then close it back up. So don't miss that, because that's an important part of the books and the movies, is Creature's presence at number 12 Grimmauld Place. So again, that is more toward the right side of the entrance to Diagon Alley, and the bus and the the phone booth are to the left-hand side. Now, also before you go in, remember King's Cross Station? That's where the Hogwarts Express is. We'll come back out to that in just a little bit. But just so you know, if you're confused about how you get on the Hogwarts Express, it is outside of Diagon Alley, not in it. Okay, so now you're going to walk through the brick wall and listen as you walk in, because you're going to hear the bricks folding themselves back, just like they do in the movies and in the books, to reveal, dun da da da, Diagon Alley. And if you guys were following me when my family went in November, you got to see, I posted on my Insta stories, my daughter's reaction to seeing Diagon Alley for the first time. And we were, let's see, halfway through The Prisoner of Azkaban. So they're very well versed in the Harry Potter universe, and they were super excited to be at Universal Orlando for the first time this past November. They are about 7.5. They're actually going to be 8 in a couple of weeks. So I felt like this was the perfect time to bring them, because they were both tall enough to ride most of the rides. I think tall enough to ride all of the rides. And just also old enough to appreciate the detail, the excitement, you kind of have to have a little bit of an understanding of the world of Harry Potter to really appreciate it. And because we've been reading, they're old enough now to read the books, they really appreciated Diagon Alley. So, like I said, once you walk in, you're just overwhelmed with all of the fun things to do. And most people want to go straight to the right and go to Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. Excuse me. Which is the joke shop that the Weasley twins have in the books and the movie. So, when you go in there, you're going to want to get some candy, and you're going to want to get some joke candy too, because it's really fun. Sorry guys, all this talking is just stirring everything up that I've been feeling this week, but I knew that you guys were going to be waiting on this video, so I didn't want to, pass it off another week. But thank you for bearing with me through all this crud. I appreciate it. So, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes is right there to the right. And if you go to the left, you're going to see a small sign that says Nocturne Alley. Don't miss it. It's really easy to miss because nothing else shows you. There's like a dark kind of open gaping hole, and it looks really creepy, and most people don't want to go down there, and a lot of people, in fact, probably avoid that area because there are no flashy signs that say Flurry and Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor or Madame Malkin's Robes. None of that. There's just a little teeny sign with a hand pointing and it says Nocturne Alley. Don't miss that, because even if you're not a dark wizard or you're not in the Slytherin house, it's a really cool shop. They've got, they definitely have all like the Death Eater paraphernalia. I think they had like maybe temporary tattoos and necklaces and bracelets. They've also got the Dark Mark merchandise. They've got the Deathly Hallows merchandise. You know, it's a little bit creepier, but it's still, you know, it's part of the Harry Potter universe. So if you are wanting to kind of get out of the hustle and bustle of Diagon Alley, that's a great place to do it because it's quiet and it's a little darker. Diagon Alley is very small. Let me go ahead and preface that. You are going to be in a crowd unless you go during a special event. One of my blogger friends, her name's Christy. She's from raisingwasians.com. She just posted a really good blog post about Rock the Universe, which is the Christian music concert extravaganza, if you will, at Universal Orlando that they just did, I think last weekend was the first and the second. And I think they do it maybe once, maybe twice a year. I think they do it again in the fall. I could be mistaken. Regardless, look it up. It's called Rock the Universe. And she was able to get some really awesome photos in Diagon Alley that didn't have any people in them. I've never seen Diagon Alley without people in them. So if you have the opportunity to visit the Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure during a special event, I would say, yeah, take your opportunity, because that's a great time to go ride rides and get photos with not very many people in them. So that's amazing. So another secret, if you will, probably not a secret, but if you are interested in trying some of the food and drink from the Harry Potter universe, everybody's favorite or everybody's most curious about butterbeer. And there is plenty of it. Now, obviously, most people think of butterbeer, the drink. You can get it hot, you can get it frozen, and you can get it, I guess, regular, if you will, which is like, I don't know, just a butterbeer on ice or something. I've never gotten it that way. I usually get it frozen, or I get it in an ice cream form. Yes, you can get an ice cream form. I highly recommend that. I guess that part is kind of the secret, and then also the fact that you can get fudge that's flavored like butterbeer is a little bit of a secret. Most people don't know that. So I highly recommend trying the drink in either hot, regular, or cold, frozen, hot, regular, or frozen. But definitely, if you want to do something a little unique, you need to get butterbeer ice cream or butterbeer fudge. Now, I will say my mom and I tried the butterbeer fudge, and we were just a teeny bit disappointed because it wasn't... excuse me, overwhelmingly butterbeer flavored. It tasted like vanilla fudge with maybe like a hint of mapley syrupy type stuff in it. It really wasn't overwhelming. So maybe don't waste your money on the butterbeer fudge, but definitely try the ice cream. I'm sure it's really good. Another ice cream that I really love that my husband thought was disgusting, but I love it, is when you go to Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor, which is kind of up Diagon Alley and to the left at the corner across from the Gringotts Bank, is the chocolate with chili. And it's like a spicy chocolate. It's really, really good. So, and I know that's kind of weird. Most people are like, what? Chocolate spicy ice cream? But I really, really enjoyed it. So I think you guys would love it. And I think you should definitely give Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor a try for sure. So what's another must-do in Diagon Alley? Could it possibly be the ride that's there? Yes, there's only really one ride, so to speak, in Diagon Alley, and it is Escape from Gringotts. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so Escape from Gringotts is a fast-paced ride. It does not go upside down. It does involve 3D, 4D effects. There is like a splash of water and you feel heat at one point. My kids both got on the ride, and my twin, who is not really into stuff like that, was like, don't ever take me on that again. And then my other twin, who is into thrill rides, was like, that was amazing, can we do it again? Unfortunately, we could not do it again because we waited like an hour and 15 minutes for it. We did not have Universal Express Pass, so we waited. But that was okay. We knew we were going to do that, and we knew we were going to have multiple days in a row to visit Universal Orlando. So we opted not to spend money on the Express Pass at that point. I'll go ahead and add a little caveat here that if you are interested in Express Pass, I would buy it ahead of time. It saves you a little bit of money instead of buying it at the park. Also, if you stay at one of the premier Universal hotels, you get it included. I believe it is Portofino Bay, Royal Pacific, Hard Rock Hotel, and what's the other one? I just lost it. Anyway, there's 4. There's 4 premier hotels that you can stay at, and your stay includes the Express Pass. And it's unlimited too. That's the other thing, because there's 2 different kinds of Express Pass at Universal. There are a Universal Express Pass, I guess regular, that allows you to skip the line one time. So if I wanted to skip the line for Escape from Gringotts one time, I could do it. But if you have the Universal Express Pass Unlimited, you can get back in line and skip it as many times as you want, which is really cool. I've never done it. Maybe one of these days I'll do it, but I don't know. For me, I'm so used to the way Disney does things and includes their fast passes in the price of stuff. It just really boggles my mind to pay an extra, like almost $200 for the 4 of us to get an Express Pass. So just haven't done it yet. So just newsflash, heads up, plan some waiting time into your Universal Orlando experience if you are not wanting to get the Express Pass. Okay, back to the secrets and must-dos at Diagon Alley. Another thing that my kids really I love to do, I took their wand and did it a couple of times, is to get an interactive wand, and it comes with a wand map. No, these are not cheap, but if you plan accordingly and you tell your kids this is their one souvenir from Universal or whatever, it's worth it, especially if you're going to stay for a few days, because they can bring it back and use it over and over. And we went for 3 days this past November, and we used it every single time. And I'm sure we'll use it again when we go back to visit. So, the cost is fine. And plus, we had promised our kids, so it's not like we could go back and say, oh, no, you can't have it now because it's expensive. But heads up, they are kind of pricey. So you get this map, and it tells you where all the spots are in Diagon Alley and in Hogsmeade, where you can interact with different things in the world, the Wizarding World. Sorry, guys. They will not work outside the Wizarding World, just FYI. There is not really anything outside the Wizarding World that you can do your wand with anyway, but just so you know. So if you leave and you want to come back to Diagon Alley later, go ahead and put the wand in a safe place so it doesn't get lost. But we really love doing this because the kids learned how to use their wands and how to make the motions for different spells, and they really felt like they were participating in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which was super awesome. I will also say that another fun thing you can do that's free is to talk to the Gringotts Goblin in the shop, or I guess, I don't know if you call it a shop. I guess you'd call it like the second area of the bank, right next to the exit of Escape from Gringotts. He talks back, so make sure that you are, asking questions that you want to know the answer to, because I have a feeling there's someone watching and listening to the questions, and that's why the goblin gives the answers that he does, but it's really fun. Another thing that we love to do is stand in the middle of Diagon Alley, which when it's really crowded, it's kind of hard to do because people are just passing you by, or they're doing the same thing you are, is to wait for the dragon on top of the Gringotts Bank to blow fire. That is really, really cool. Because it's just like it is in the movie when the dragon escapes from the bank and climbs to the top and breaks free. It's just really neat. If you're a Potterhead, if you loved the books and the movies, that's something that you're really, just all of the touches, all of the names of the places, the colors, the types of food that's sold, the candy in the joke shop, the robes in Madame Malkin's, the ice cream. It's just super fun. And don't miss all the little photo spots that, I don't want to say little, because some of them are quite big. They take up the whole wall. All the different photo spots that you can find in Diagon Alley. On the back of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, there are some cool, like almost poster-like places on the either side of the wall that you can kind of stand in front of and pose. And there's some really neat archways. There are some just really cool shots. So don't miss out on looking for... Oh, one of my favorites, sorry, I just thought of it, is when you're going to get butterbeer at the butterbeer cart, which is, so if you go to the right and you see Weasley's Wizard Wheezes and you keep going back, there's a place to get butterbeer. They have a really cool, like old-fashioned looking butterbeer sign, which is a great place to get some photos as well. Okay, sorry. Almost done, guys. All this talking is really just getting me going, but I appreciate you sticking with me. Last thing I wanted to talk about is when you're ready to leave. When you're ready to leave Diagon Alley and you're ready to head over to Hogsmeade, you are going to want to ride the Hogwarts Express. It is super fun, and it makes you feel super special because you get to walk through platform 9 3/4 and you disappear. So how do you do that? Well, if you want to ride the Hogwarts Express, you either need to have a Universal Orlando annual pass, an AP, or you need to have a park-to-park ticket. Now, if you just have a 1-day park-to-park ticket, it still works. If you have a 10-day park-to-park ticket, it still works. Either way, you just have to be able to show that you have paid money to go from Islands of Adventure to Universal Studios and back. That's the only way you're going to be able to ride the Hogwarts Express. They take your ticket. Well, they don't take it. They scan it when you get to the turnstiles, for lack of a better word. There's not really any turnstiles. It's just Universal employees there scanning your ticket. But it looks like a real London train station, which is really fun. So you scan your ticket. You wait in line, depending on what time of day it is. We waited almost an hour. And that was probably a little excessive. We probably should have done it earlier in the day. But that's neither here nor there. Y'all learn from my mistake and take a chance and go earlier in the day and then come back. Because there's really not a whole lot to do while you're standing in line. Every so often, you might find a treat cart or a drink cart. You can play Harry Potter trivia. You can, figure out ways to entertain yourself. But there's really not a whole lot to do until you get to platform 9 3/4. And then they have the trunks and the animatronic Hedwig, and then once you get up onto the platform, you can see the train, but that does take a little while if you are waiting in line. So make sure that you use the Universal Orlando app to plan your trip. The app was super helpful in helping us figure out when and where to do different things, especially because we had such a big group and we weren't sure excuse me, when we were going to go on the Hogwarts Express. And we had thought about going earlier, and then by the time we were ready to go, it was too late, and we just had to suck it up and get in line. So don't make that mistake. The wait times on the Universal Orlando app tend to be pretty accurate, so make sure that you are using that app wisely. Don't think, oh, that's not that long of a wait, or oh, surely that's wrong. No, they tend to be pretty right. So just make sure that you have planned yourself accordingly, because the last train, I believe, you don't get to keep riding on it after the park closes. There is a point where the train does stop running. But it's really fun because, and I don't want to ruin it in case you've never ridden it, if you love the books and the movies, or even if you don't, it's a cool experience. I don't know that my parents have ever read the books or maybe seen the movies. Maybe they've seen one or two. But what happens on the train is so interactive and fun, and seeing it with my kids for the first time was even more fun because they were just so thrilled, and oh, look at that. Did you see that? Wow, Mom, look at that. That's amazing. Just seeing their joy over something as simple as what happens when you get on the train was really awesome. So I highly, highly recommend riding the Hogwarts Express at some point in your stay, in your trip to Diagon Alley. Don't forget it. It's just as important as anything else you do there. So right now, I'm going to look back up here on my computer and just make sure nobody has any questions for me. Let's see. Oh, okay. I see that I was, excuse me, incorrect about the how many hotels there were. I appreciate those of you who are watching and commenting. It is just the 3. It's the Royal Pacific, the Portofino Bay, and the Hard Rock Hotel. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Okay, I got real excited apparently talking about hotels. Let me see if there are any more questions real quick before I end this. Okay, I don't see any more at this point, but that doesn't mean you can't ask questions later, especially if you're watching the replay or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, because yes, I am uploading this to my YouTube channel. I would love to answer your questions about Universal Orlando's Diagon Alley. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and putting up with my hacking and coughing. I promise next time I will be better and I won't take up so much time hacking and coughing, and I'll spend most of the time answering your questions. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. See you next time.